the last 2 weeks, I did not open my laptop to do client work, not once. I ran my whole consulting business from my phone on purpose as a test because Claude Cowork just landed on mobile, and I wanted to know if it could actually carry real client work or if it was just a cool demo. And honestly, it held up better than I expected, and there were 2 things that genuinely surprised me and 1 that annoyed me. So let me show you exactly what happened and the 6 things you need to know if you want to master it. Here's why I even ran this experiment. The whole reason people stay stuck as freelancers instead of growing into consultants is that they can only work when they're parked at a desk. So the business is capped at how many hours you can physically be in a chair. And when Cowork went mobile on July 7th, my first thought wasn't cool feature. It was, wait, does this quietly remove that cap? Because you have to understand what Cowork actually is before any of this makes sense. Chat helps you, so you ask it something and it answers, and then you go do the real work yourself. Cowork does the work, where you hand it a whole job start to finish and it goes and finishes it. So the real question of this experiment was whether it could do that from my pocket while I was living my life. And this is for the person running lean, where it's just you trying to deliver real client work without being chained to a desk all day. If that's you, stay with me, because everything I learned in these 2 weeks maps onto 6 things, and 4 of them are brand new to Cowork. And if you want the deeper version of how I actually build and sell this stuff to clients, I run a school community with over 3,000 people doing exactly that, and the link is down below. All right, day 1. So the first thing that surprised me is that you don't download anything new. If you've already got the Claude app, you update it, and then when you start a new chat, there's a toggle right in the message box where one side is chat and the other is Cowork. That toggle is the whole experiment. My first real test was prospecting, because that's the part of consulting I hate doing at a desk. I was out, I saw a business that fit my niche perfectly, and I took a screenshot of their Google listing and sent it to Cowork and said, research this company, look at what their reviews complain about, and draft me a cold outreach email that leads with the thing they're clearly struggling with. The part that made me keep going was that I told it to save that whole thing as a skill. So for the rest of the 2 weeks, every screenshot of a business just ran the entire workflow automatically. That alone changed how much prospecting I got done, because it happened in the gaps of my day instead of in a 2-hour block I kept avoiding. The cloud is the piece that made the whole thing actually work, and there was one specific day it clicked for me. Cowork used to only run on your computer, so closing your laptop stopped the work. Now it runs on Anthropic servers, so it keeps going with your laptop shut and your phone in your pocket. Here's the exact moment. A client sent me a call recording and wanted it turned into a proposal, which is normally an hour of me at my desk. Instead, I handed Cowork the transcript and said, pull the 3 biggest pain points this client mentioned. Draft a proposal that restates those pains first, and then lays out what I'm building them, push it into Canva so it looks like it came from a real agency, and drop it in my Google Drive. Then I closed my laptop and left. And because it was running in the cloud, I could pull my phone out and watch it work, see what step it was on, and Claude pinged me the second it was done. The feature I did not expect to care about was scheduled tasks, and it turned out to be the one thing from this whole experiment I still run every week. If you type /schedule inside Cowork, you set up a task and tell Claude when to run it, and because it lives in that cloud I just talked about, it runs even with all your devices off. Mine runs every Sunday night, where it goes through every client email I didn't answer that week, works out what each person actually needed, and writes the reply in my voice straight into my drafts. So I wake up Monday to a whole week of client emails already written, where all I do is read them and hit send. That's the difference between drowning in client comms and running a tight business, and it happens while I'm asleep, which is really cool. The thing that actually killed the babysitting for me is that it's all one session that follows you across every device. I wasn't sitting in front of a screen waiting to see if Claude had a question, because when it did, it just notified me on my phone. Where this paid off was lead lists, which is the boring tax on every consulting week. I started one from my computer, told it to pull 50 businesses in my niche with the owner's name and whether their reviews mentioned people not being able to reach them, and then I left to play with my cats. And sitting in the pickup line, my phone buzzed, and it was Claude, telling me it had the 50 and asking if I wanted it to start drafting outreach for the top 10. I tapped yes, and it got back to work while I drove home, which is honestly a little bit wild the first time it happens. Then there's the safety side, and with client work on the line, I was genuinely glad it was there. When Cowork hits a moment that needs a real decision, like sending or publishing something, it stops and notifies you on your phone, and nothing happens until you approve it. Back to that proposal. Cowork had it built and sitting in my drive, and I'd wired it to email the client the second it was done. Instead of just firing it off, it stopped and asked, the proposal's ready, do you want me to send it to the client now? And that's exactly where you want it to pause, because the second a proposal hits a client's inbox, it's out there. You set how tight the leash is, where one mode checks with you before every action and another just runs the whole thing. And for the first few days of my experiment, I kept it on the tight one and loosened it as I started to trust it, which is what I'd tell you to do too, because early on it's your reputation going out the door. And I'm not going to pretend it's magic, because a real review has to tell you what didn't work. There's a hard limit here, where anything living in the cloud works from your phone. So your email and Drive and the web are all fine, but anything that touches your actual computer does not. The files sitting on your desktop don't work from your phone. phone. And neither does Claude driving your browser or clicking around your screen for you, because those still need your desktop app open and your computer awake. This one actually caught me mid-experiment, and the fix is just what I do now, where I move whatever files I think I'll need into Google Drive first, and then everything else runs on my phone perfectly. And one honest note, because it's still in beta, at launch it went to the max plans first, so if you're on Pro and you don't see the toggle yet, you're not doing anything wrong. It's rolling out over the next few weeks. But the thing the experiment really proved to me is the point I started with, that the desk was the cap the whole time. Once the delivery runs from your pocket while you're living your life, you can take on the next client without drowning. And that's the actual unlock here, not any one feature. I help business owners, entrepreneurs, and just regular people turn AI into actual revenue. If that sounds like you, come join my school community of over 3,000 members doing this for real. You'll learn how to actually find clients, sell things that they want to buy, and close them. And you'll get access to me to get all your questions answered. The link is down below. And drop a comment telling me the first client task you'd hand off to your phone, because I read them and some of my best video ideas come straight out of the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.